Did you know that in the 2020 presidential election, nearly 70% of eligible voters went to the ballot box? That's the highest turnout for a presidential election in the United States since 1900. So as we gear up for 2024, have you thought about who you're going to vote for? What does your vote really mean this time around? Hey everyone, welcome back to our channel. I'm Phil Clark, your host, and today we're going to dive into a hot topic, the 2024 election. Now, with Trump and Harris as the main contenders, it's crucial that you understand what each candidate stands for and how your vote will shape the future of this country. There's so much information out there, and it can be difficult to figure out who aligns with your values. And with the media outlets spinning stories in different directions, it's really tough to get a balanced view. Are we really voting for the candidate, or are we voting for the party behind them? The stakes are high. And understanding these differences, it's going to be key to making a choice that reflects your views. Please don't vote based on emotion or propaganda. Let's dive a little deeper into some critical issues. These are more of the salient points that I think everyone needs to better understand. First up, it's the big one. It's the economy. Now, Donald Trump, he touts his record on job creation, tax cuts. Those are things that he sees as growth boosters. Now, on the flip side, Kamala Harris, she argues for a more equitable economy, paying for education, providing first-time home buyer credits, focusing on minimum wage increases, and of course, taxing the wealthy to fund social services. So which one is best? Cutting taxes seems counterintuitive, generating less revenue. On the other hand, spending more when our country, the United States, is already overspending by $2 trillion every 12 months, that creates its own set of circumstances. Next, let's talk about healthcare. Trump has been well known to criticize ACA, or Affordable Care Act. Some of you know it as Obamacare. While Harris, on the other hand, she supports expanding access to healthcare and building on the infamous ACA. The question here is whether this kind of spending is affordable. And if it is, how? She hasn't shared with us where the money will come from to expand such a program. There's foreign policy. That has to be on everyone's mind today when you consider Ukraine, Russia, when you consider Israel, Hamas. Trump, he calls for America first. His approach is contrasted sharply with Harris's emphasis on diplomacy and global alliances. These issues, they affect every American. So what does all of this mean for the future? When we compare the candidates' platforms side by side, each has a distinct vision for America. Trump's approach, it leans towards conservative values, emphasizing individualism and a hands-off government. Kamala Harris, on the other hand, pushes for progressive reforms. No matter who you vote for, the policies are significant. Whether it's in terms of job security, healthcare accessibility, or international relations, they all matter. This is not about being a Democrat or a Republican. This is about understanding how these decisions will affect you, your family, and the generations to come. All right, so let's recap here. Voter turnout, we know it's important, it's critical, and it happened in a huge way back in 2020. I think 2024 could be even larger. I want to urge you, please take the time to understand what each candidate stands for. Each candidate represents a different path forward. Forget about which party they represent. You must commit to listening differently. Something other than your favorite news channel. Those channels that you're used to watching, they probably already support your ideology. You got to hear something different in order to compare. And don't focus on how you feel about the candidate on a personal level. You're not voting for someone that's going to become your best friend or your buddy. You need to turn off the noise. Go for something more balanced. Let's listen for what it is, and let's try to make decisions based on best candidate, not on personal emotion. If you want to dig deeper into each candidate's policies, you're going to want to check out next week's video, and I'm going to share how each candidate's policies will affect the economy in the short term and the long term. Now, I want to hear from you. Who are you leaning towards in this election and why? And how are you gathering necessary information so that you can make the best decision? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you next time on We're Talking Money.